Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to A Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. They said it would never happen again, but ladies and gentlemen, we are live right there after Joe Biden's first address to a joint session of Congress. Now, because of the pandemic, tonight was a bit odd. First, Biden didn't mention low-flow toilets once. Second, everything else. Biden was the first president to deliver the speech in front of a mask-wearing audience, if you don't count Bill Clinton's last State of the Union, whose theme was Eyes Wide Shut. Because of social distancing, the audience was way smaller than usual. The number of attendees, usually 1,600, was pared down to only 200. Still, 200 people is more than watch the Oscars. Because of the limited number in the audience, most tickets were distributed by lottery. Democrats pulled names out of a hat, while Republicans used white Powerball. Because most of the cabinet did not attend, there was no designated survivor this year. And that's too bad, because that's usually the only way we find out that the Secretary of Labor is Marty Walsh. By the way, that wasn't Marty Walsh. It was just some random photo from the internet, and you didn't know that. President Biden went into the speech with most Americans on his side. A CBS YouGov Haribo gummy worms poll says 58% of Americans approve of the way he is handling the job, while the other 42% say Hunter Biden's fingerprints are on the laptop that killed Dr. Seuss and they used his corpse to replace all the meat in our burgers. Instead of the throngs of glad-handers on both sides of the aisle, Biden came in, did a couple of fist bumps, and that was pretty much it. Just headed straight to the podium, where it was truly moving to finally see two women presiding over the joint session, and the president immediately noted the moment.
Madam Speaker, Madam Vice President, no president has ever said those words from this podium. No president has ever said those words.
Truly an historic evening and a demonstration of the promise of America. To quote the Founding Fathers, Kool and the gang, "Oh, it's ladies' night. Oh, what a night." He also, of course, introduced First Lady Dr. Jill Biden.
First Lady, I'm her husband.
Okay. Seems like an unnecessary clarification, but longtime Biden speech watchers know that it could have been her sister. Biden set the agenda right off the bean.
Tonight, I come to talk about crisis and opportunity.
And remember, folks, they say the Chinese symbol for crisis is also the symbol for opportunity, and also Biden's tramp stamp. Biden was optimistic about the American spirit.
In America, we never, ever, ever stay down. Americans always get up.
Yes, but first Americans reach for the remote unless it's fallen away. It's where they can't grab it, so they try to get it with their toes. And if that doesn't work, they text their wife in the next room to see if she'll come in and hand it to you because you don't want to spill the nachos. But if she doesn't answer, then America gets up. Biden struck an optimistic note.
America's ready for a takeoff.
No! Not a takeoff. You're the train man. We're not taking off. We're leaving the station. All aboard. Toot toot. Joe Biden can't talk about planes. You can't use plane analogies. That's like the Colonel bragging about his fried beef. The president also stressed the economic opportunity of fighting climate change.
For too long, we've failed to use the most important word when it comes to meeting the climate crisis. Jobs. Jobs. Jobs.
Okay, he seems to be buffering. Can somebody unplug him and plug him back in again? Because I think he hit that theme a few times.
We'll create thousands and thousands of good-paying jobs. Jobs, 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 jobs.
Oh, you got to applaud. That's a State of the Union rule. You give him a hand every time he says jobs. In Washington, that's called giving a jobs hand. Then he made... Really? That made you blush? Then he made his appeal to rural voters.
Farmers Farmers planting cover crops so they can reduce the carbon dioxide in the air and get paid for doing it.
Wait, hold on. We're going to pay farmers to do it? E-I-E-I-O. Then the president took a moment to feel at the nation.
So many of you, so many of the folks I grew up with, feel left behind, forgotten, in an economy that's so rapidly changing. It's frightening. I want to speak directly to you, because you think about it. That's what people are most worried about. Can I fit in?
Our pants? No. After a year of COVID, we definitely can't fit in. Biden pointed out that there was no time to waste because the world was moving too fast.
We'll see more technological change in the next 10 years than we saw in the last 50.
Okay, that's exciting, but if Apple comes up with a new charger that doesn't fit my old phone, I'm going to start stabbing people. One of Biden's goals for the evening was selling the country on his $1.8 trillion American Families Plan, which pays for things like universal pre-kindergarten, a federal paid leave program, efforts to make child care more affordable, and free community college for all. And it's a family plan, so I'm going to guess 100 free minutes of talk and text. He also addressed rising health care costs.
We all know how outrageously expensive drugs are in America.
Yes, I remember a time when a dime bag cost a dime, and we would drive up. What? Oh wait, he's talking about prescription drugs. Yeah, those are pretty worrying too. But you know, the Xanax calms me down. Now, if you were watching on Fox News, first, what are you doing here? And second, you may have noticed that there were moments when Fox showed two different times in different corners of the screen. Well, you know the old saying, even a stopped clock is right 2 times a day, and that's better than Fox News. The president tried to make his economic policy clear.
Trickle-down economics has never worked. And it's time to grow the economy from the bottom and the middle out.
Oh, way ahead of you there, sir. On the whole, growing the bottom and the middle out. Like I said, not fitting in the pants. Once Biden described a phone call he had with the president of China, and he made it clear that he was playing hardball.
I made absolutely clear that we will defend America's interest across the board. America will stand up to unfair trade practices that undercut American workers and American industries, like subsidies from state to state-owned operations and enterprises, and the theft of American technology and intellectual property.
Okay, but we can still buy counterfeit DVDs on the subway, right? Because I'm really excited to watch God Lizard versus Lord Monkey. He got impassioned when it came to this country's potential.
America is an idea, the most unique idea in history.
That idea, there is no crust that cannot be stuffed. Might have been a little cold in the room. At one point, far-right Congresswoman Lauren Boebert unfurled a space blanket, which is weird because usually she wears the tinfoil on her head. Biden made a call for reasonable gun control.
Talk to most responsible gun owners and hunters. They'll tell you there's no possible justification for having 100 rounds in a weapon. What do you think, deer wearing Kevlar vests?
No, but they will in the next Stallone movie, Bambo. But while Biden made some great points, not everybody was enthralled. Ted Cruz started nodding off, although Cruz said he was only escorting his daughters to Dreamland and he was planning on coming right back. Biden wants Congress to pay for all of his plans with a series of tax increases for the rich. And before you say anything, no, that's not socialism. As Adam Smith himself wrote, the market will regulate itself through the invisible hand unless there's some billionaire shooting sports cars into space, in which case, tax that biatch. So, what did we see tonight? The oldest president of all time. No handshakes, just fist bumping. 200 people in the room and everybody in masks. It hasn't felt that normal in 5 years. And in the end, I got to say, I think he did a pretty good, what's the word?
Job.
You got to do it. Of Of course, this speech wasn't the only big story today. We got some good news for America and some very bad news for former presidential lawyer Rudy Giuliani, seen here in a standoff with a raccoon over an old pizza box. Today, acting on a warrant, federal investigators searched Rudy Giuliani's apartment and office at about 6 a.m. Come on, that's way too early. Rudy's not himself until he's had his first cup of hot breakfast wine. I'll tell you everything about it in my new, hopefully very long-running segment, Rudy, Fresh and Scrooty.
No! I'm America's mayor!
This raid is a big deal. The FBI doesn't just pop into your apartment to borrow a cup of justice. It means there's probable cause that Giuliani committed a federal crime. Ooh, tough break for Rudy. The only lawyer dumb enough to defend him just got raided by the feds. So, which of Rudy's cockamamie, cousin-kissing, crime-adjacent idiot capers is this for? Well, it goes back to the latest, or the last presidential election, and Rudy's attempts to dig up dirt on Hunter Biden in Ukraine with the help of his two Soviet-born business associates, Lev Parnas and Igor Fruman, the new cover models for Offen Goon Monthly. Parnas and Fruman were arrested in 2019, and that investigation led to questions about whether Rudy helped them illegally lobby the last administration on behalf of Ukrainian officials and oligarchs. We don't know if those two guys tipped off the feds. Could have been anyone. Rudy is constantly dealing with leaks. Prosecutors are about to learn more about Rudy's involvement in Ukraine because during today's raid, they seized his electronic devices. Oh no, they took his cell phone. Now we'll have to butt dial reporters on a landline. And there's more bad news for Rudy. The feds also executed a search warrant at the home of Victoria Tenzing, a lawyer close to Rudy Giuliani, who had dealings with Ukrainians involved in the effort to find damaging information about the Bidens. Anything connected to Rudy Giuliani is under scrutiny. So lawyer up if you own a landscaping company between a crematorium and a dildo hut. That's a chain, isn't it? Dildo hut? Yes. This story's only going to get bigger. Luckily, I'm not the only one following it. Here's one of Rudy's neighbors this morning after the raid.
My ex-husband called me and said, "Have you seen what's going on?" And he said, "No, look out your window." So, I don't know, I just saw people. I probably saw FBI jackets, but I just saw people, and I saw all of you, and I said, "What is going on?"
And while I have you, I have to say, you can't redo the floors in the lobby while you're also redoing the elevators. It's too much. My dog is stressed out. He just pooped in his stroller. And my daughter is coming over. She's still single, but with that haircut, I'm not surprised. We've got a great live show for you tonight. My guest is Senator Bernie Sanders. And later, meanwhile, stick around.